Now that I can see my composition or the active camera in a different perspective, it's easier for me to start moving around. The first thing I want to do is for the car, I'm gonna remove the key points because it will make a problem. We are going to move the car, and I can start modifying the position, the Z position for every single house, and then having a look at it in my active camera. The active camera is a fictive camera that After Effects has created, and it's the one that's gonna render and come out in the movie. You can have other cameras and you will be able to choose if you want this active camera or other cameras if you create some. We'll see that later on. So the first thing we want to do to start creating an animation is to move the car. So I will not start holding the layer anywhere and moving it. I will use 100% the axis, nothing else. Otherwise, it's gonna be very hard for you to readjust the layer and wrong things can happen. I will move the car, and notice now that I moved the car further, it is not really in its place. I can see the axis here. There is no problem in using the axis here. You see it's also moving on this side and the y-axis. So now the car is well positioned. Take the tree. The tree, let's move it towards the car, and this house, let's move it a bit further. The small house and the small tree here, I'm gonna select both of them, use the Z axis to move them towards the car. The big tree here, I can take it before the small house. The greenhouse also I can move it. So we're gonna keep in perspective this line of houses. Let's move this one backward a bit. And of course the tree will come in the front. The small house can come just behind the tree or something like this. I can pan and move the small house in front of the other small house. This is a big house. We're gonna move it behind. I can move in the timeline to see more of my scene. The tree, let's move this tree very in front. The big house, let's move it backward, and this one here. Let's do the clouds now. We go back. If you choose this one, we say okay, view 100%, it's put it in the middle, very fine. We start with the first cloud. You notice the first cloud is on this side. Let's move it here. Let's take it behind. Let's take it behind. And it's okay, but it's going down, so I can lift it up. So I can work in any screen I want, in any view I want. Now, if you start moving freely, you will lose control and you will surely not know what you're doing. You cannot even get back what you were doing. Let's move this one backward. Now this building, let's move this building very much behind and take a star and put it in front of this building. Let's move it forward or backward. Let's put it down like this. Okay, that's cool. Then let's take the other cloud, put it behind it, and this one may be very far behind, and also the other clouds we can move them very much behind and even on top a bit. Let's see. Oh, that's good. Let's take it down a bit behind the house, and we move on. Here you are. Now usually you will not do so many buildings and so on. So we have designed it. Let's see how it looks, and we are going to look here now. The car, of course, I removed the animation for the car, but now you notice that whatever is near is moving much faster than what is behind, and somehow very realistic. Let's take this house, this one, and move it forward. Okay, go back. And what else can we do to make it even more interesting? Okay, this one is gonna be on the way. Cool. This one, let's move it backward. Give it some effect. Yeah, behind the clouds. Let's run a ramp preview again. And here you are, you have a 3-dimension. You notice very well how the tree here is in front, so it moves much faster. The house is in front of the tree, it's moving even faster from the tree. You notice how it's closing distance here, and the clouds behind are pretty slow. So now your animation is done. You have created quite some animation. Let's go back and give the animation to the car. We keyframed here. we press end, we go at the end, we keyframe again, we take the car and put it just here. Right? Okay, let's run a ramp preview. So the car is moving, and you notice everything is moving normally. Notice how they are overlapping here. And you have started doing your first real 3D animation. Of course, if you are doing puppet show and so on, it will be the same technique and the same organization that you will do. Let's look at other views and understand more about the multi-plan. So instead of having custom view, I'm gonna go to the top view. You notice that there are many layers that are in different plans. So actually you moved from a 2D, that is an X and Y plan, a single plan, to very many plans that you have created here without even knowing. This is the concept of multi-planning, and this is how you create different plans. Of course, we have used the Z. There was nothing wrong in using the X. In different kind of scenario, you could do that. And you have your multi-plan system. Thank you very much for listening. And then your homework is to come and create a sun here that does not move. Yet the whole composition is gonna move, but make sure that your sun is well positioned in 3 dimensions and moves very, very slightly. Don't make it move from right to left or left to right. That will be like the car. Make sure it doesn't move, put it in the center.